Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzomus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empaths free. If you are new, on this channel I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse, I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us. Give us a like, share this video with your friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. I'm laughing at that dog. I don't even know whatever it is. I don't know whatever it is the dog is eating, you know. So guys, listen up, listen very closely. I saw a comment from a subscriber a few days ago, and the whole idea was the loneliness stage. That subscriber was saying that the loneliness is killing him or her. I don't know if it was a she or a he. And I thought, okay, we are gonna, talk a little bit about this loneliness stage. Now, first of all, even sometimes to make you understand this, you go back along you walk back a couple of years ago along your path. As a chosen one, you have already been lonely. Even sometime before you realizing that you are lonely, you have always been lonely most part of your life. So me personally, that comment, it brought me back It brought me back in those days, in the early days of my journey. I've always spent a very significant amount of time by myself. So a lot of you guys your loneliness, number one, has been caused by the fact that you don't fit in. Remember, you guys have seen my video before. I've told you chosen ones, you don't fit in. You know what I mean? And a very big chunk of your life as well, you have found yourself that you've been lonely. It doesn't matter whatever it is. Even if sometimes you might have been sitting in crowds, in gatherings or things like that, you have still noticed that actually for some reason you don't fit in those communities, in those groups of people that you've been involved with. So your life has always been like that. It is just because in the early days of your journey you didn't know what it was all about, the reason why you were not fitting in, and what caused you to spend significant amounts of times alone. A lot of this will make more sense after waking up. So when you wake up, that's when you realize that actually because remember that when you're waking up, you as well starting to add up all the puzzles. You're adding up all the pieces together about your life, because you're doing a lot of reflection. You're revisiting your childhood. You're revisiting your teenagers. So you're starting to see all these puzzles fitting. And in one of those puzzles, I remember in my early days, because when I woke up in about 2019 August. So I remember in those days when I woke up, I did a video and I said that video was called Loneliness. After waking up. Because it was one of the things I realized, one of the very first things, and I think that my subscribers as well, they're going through some kind of an awakening. So in the early days of awakening, you're going to notice you're lonely for some reason. It doesn't matter how much you try to fight it or whatever it is, you are going to always struggle with the loneliness. So it's going to be on a significant scale. Now you have to understand something, chosen ones. Loneliness, if you're still feeling that depth, or that depth of loneliness, it's like you're feeling it within your soul that you're lonely. It has also something to do with, you might also have to understand that there's some things that you still need to heal about yourself, you know what I mean? Because a lot of empaths, especially the empaths who are waking up nowadays, a lot of empaths, they deal with a lot of codependency issues, you know what I mean? So a lot of empaths are codependents. So they usually depend on other people, for validation, for things like that. They like to be nice to everybody around them. So if you're still feeling that thing of loneliness, it just makes you understand that we've been there. I've been there personally, and I know what it is. But again, the first thing what I did when I was waking up, in those days of waking up, the first thing what I did was to heal my codependency. You know what I mean? So because I remember I had some codependency issues in those days. So the first thing what I did was to see how can I heal this codependency so that I can stand on myself, make my own decision. It does not matter. I will always fight to do everything by myself. So I broke a lot of the codependency issues in those days. You know what I mean? So you also have to understand, chosen ones, that it is okay to be alone. So I've done a video before and I've told you guys, there's no harm in being alone, you know what I mean? Because first of all, even being alone is even helping you. Because remember, we've been talking about codependency. A lot of you guys have been involved with a lot of toxic individuals in your journey. You know what I mean? So, would you prefer to be with a toxic person, or would you prefer to be alone and work on yourself? Or, go on and heal and work on yourself? For me, I think the first thing what I did was understand that this loneliness was actually happening for me. So it was very important for me to understand the loneliness was part of the process of my evolution. Because you cannot evolve with toxic people around you, you cannot evolve with the crowd. Yes, of course, sometimes you need one or two friends, but at the same time, even sometimes you are going to notice that there will be long periods of time whereby you will disconnect from a lot of those individuals. Most of those guys you've known for a long period of time. You will also disconnect from the few of them that you know. You know what I mean? Because the loneliness, it is meant to help you evolve. A person who is going to evolve successfully, an awakened empath who is going to evolve successfully, they are going to evolve alone. They are not going to evolve with anybody. There will not be anybody around you. There will be people who are mentoring you. Sometimes maybe you have a couple of coaches, sometimes people who are really much into whatever it is, whatever journey it is you've decided to go. So you may find sometimes mentors who are helping you on your journey. But a lot of times I can guarantee you that 98% of the times you are going to be by yourself. So the journey of spiritual evolution is a lonely journey. You know what I mean? So the journey this loneliness is helping you it will help you a lot to strengthen you up, you know what I mean, to stop depending on people for validation, you know what I mean. You just, think that, okay, so you're always supposed to be in some kind of a relationship with somebody. Doesn't matter how many toxic people you have met along your journey, you'll always sometimes feel that codependency whereby you think, okay, you want to be in an intimate relationship with somebody. Yes, it will come to that whereby you will sometimes most of the time think about it. But at the end of the day, guys, I can guarantee you, if you haven't worked on yourself, if you have not had the chance to introspect, let me tell you something, chosen ones. Introspection is a very, very important thing. A person has got to introspect. You have got to go within. The meaning of your spiritual awakening, people, let me tell you something. You have got to go within. You have got to go within and dig out those traumas that you're trying to shadow up. Because you see, the whole life we've been living as chosen ones, it's involved a lot of traumas. So there's always been a lot of things that situations that we've gotten into that weren't benefiting us and weren't even sometimes good for us, and we have also experienced a lot of traumas. Like for some of us who have grown up in these dysfunctional families, I think you guys have seen my videos recently about those kind of families, So there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to heal, chosen ones. So when you go within and you start to understand those things that you're supposed to heal, you know what I mean? What was even the first reason in the first place? You are supposed to ask yourself the reason. Why do you feel lonely? That is the first question you need to ask yourself very, very seriously. Why do you feel lonely? Do you feel lonely because you need a friend around you? Or do you feel lonely because you need a relationship? What is the reason of your loneliness? Do you need a relationship? Do you need a girlfriend? Do you need a boyfriend? Do you need a friend? What do you need? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Because if you can honestly answer that question, then you're also going to find the solution of your loneliness. I can guarantee you guys, let me tell you something, chosen ones. A lot of you guys, you're waking up. You're waking up to the truth of who you are. You're spiritual beings having a human experience. So in every way, in each and every way, as a free being, a spiritual being, as a free being, you also understand that there is also always going to be moments whereby you're going to have to be alone, because on your path, along your path, the whole idea of that isolation is that along your path, of course, you are going to meet, not even suppose, you are going to meet a lot of individuals who are like you. So you're going to meet your tribe. You know what I mean? When you wake up, guys, you introspect, you go within, you heal, you do a lot of work. People, I'll guarantee you that working on yourself is going to be one of the biggest things you can ever do for yourself. If you can go within and start working on yourself and heal your traumas, There's a lot to be healed, people. If you're still feeling lonely, there is still too much work to be done. There is work you need to do on yourself. There is a lot of things to heal, you know. It has got to come to that point whereby you no longer feel lonely. That is when you're going to know now, actually, you have healed. If you no longer feel lonely within you, because I've been doing videos for about a couple of, 2.5 years now, and I've always seen this question popping up every now and then. Of course, then I noticed that actually it was not only me, it was also so many people around the world who are going through this awakening and everything. They're experiencing, they're experiencing and going through long periods of loneliness. Loneliness, secretly, people, it is an evolution process. So a person who is spiritually awake and you're growing and you're evolving, you are going to evolve alone. So you're going to evolve in solitude. The last video when I did about evolution, you guys saw the video about evolving in solitude. You are usually going to evolve in solitude. No one is going to evolve with you. So don't worry about the loneliness. You're going to understand everything is happening for you. You know what I mean? Along your journey of loneliness, you work on yourself, you heal. That is exactly when you start to meet and attract a lot of individuals who are in your frequency. You know, you are supposed to attract your soul tribe. There's a lot of people like you out there, so many of them. And they're also going through the same thing you're going through. They're working on themselves, they have awakened, they are doing this, they're evolving, they are learning, they're going within. So they are doing the same thing that you're doing. And at some point in time, I will guarantee you, as long as you keep walking along, walking on your path and staying on the right track, those individuals, they will gravitate towards you. It doesn't matter where you are. You don't have to be online doing things like everybody else. You may just stay in your vicinity, but you will find somewhere that those individuals, because of your energy, they're going to start gravitating towards you. They are going to find you where you are. You might have to find them where they are, but most of the time they will find you where you are, because it's your soul tribe. You know what I mean? So do not beat yourself up because you're lonely and you think that, all of a sudden there's nobody around there. You know, I've spent a lot of times by myself. You know what I mean? I've spent a lot of times, a very good significant amount of time by myself. And then I noticed later on that actually me being by myself helped me to work on myself. You know what I mean? So because by yourself, remember, when you're by yourself, there's no chaos, number one. There's no blockages. Nobody's going to come around and interrupt you. Maybe for example, I'm a YouTuber, so I want to do a video, and then somebody's going to come around and and they try to interrupt my video when I'm alone. It's not going to happen. You know, even from a stranger, I will not accept that. So working alone, evolving requires you to work alone. You know what I mean? You work alone, number one, and you walk alone. So you're working and you're walking alone at the same time. Nobody's going to be around there. Nobody's going to work with you. So nobody's going to help you. People will help you. There'll be mentors to help you, but nobody's going to walk with you on a spiritual path. So a person who is walking a spiritual path has got to know that you have got your own unique path. Your own unique path is going to be different. See what I mean? So your own path is going to be different. It's not going to be like my path. It's not going to be like your neighbor's path. Everybody's walking their own journey. But whichever path you're walking, nobody's going to walk that path with you. It doesn't matter what you decide to do. Guys, I will guarantee you, at the end of the day, you're going to be by yourself. You know? So a lot of chosen ones who are waking up, they have a lot of those times where they think, they are lonely, they don't see anyone around. And guys, it's very, very difficult. I remember myself in those days of early waking up. It was very, very difficult. It was hard. It was hard, people. It was hard to be alone. It was hard. Because for the first time in my entire life, I was noticing that actually, this is the first time I really feel that I'm alone. You know what I mean? Those days when I was waking up. Because remember, you're waking up. And all of a sudden, you've gone through this, I call it a paradigm shift, So you know a lot of stuff. The veil has been lifted. You can see all these demons running up and down around you, You're starting to see family members, playing up against you. Your friends are playing up against you. You're seeing everybody for who they are. For the first time in your entire life, you're seeing everybody for who they are. And then can you tell me now, if you've seen those individuals, they have been all of a sudden playing with you, stealing from you, manipulating you, destroying you. I want you to ask yourself a question. They have been a part of your life for the last 20, 30 years, okay? So do you really still want to keep them around? Okay? If they have been the individuals who have been a part of, they have been part of the chaos. So if you have been, if you have noticed, if you have uncovered them and noticed that those individuals were dangerous, they were even a part of your destruction and a part of your stagnation. They have always kept you from growing and evolving. I want you to ask yourself a question. Do you really want to keep them around you? Or do you want to really be alone? Those are the two questions you need to ask yourself. Do you want to keep the guys you've been keeping in your circle before? The toxic people? Whichever form of toxicity. Narcissists, I don't know what. Psychopaths. May always talk about 3. The rest is up to psychology and the other names and everything. Do you still want to keep those individuals around you? Or do you want to carry on and ascend by yourself? Because I've already given you a guarantee and a clear example that on your ascension process, your soul tribe will find you. When I started my journey, people, I didn't have anybody around me. I started my journey by myself. I started talking and sharing and this and that. There was nobody. And then all of a sudden, they started coming out one by one. You know what I mean? So at least now I know that, when I'm talking about stuff, I know that there's an audience, there's people who can speak my language. They are working like me. They are empaths like me. So we speak the same language. You know what I mean? So I know that at least finally I found my tribe, and I know the language I'm talking. I'm not crazy, because those are the first times I thought in the beginning that I was crazy. You know, I thought that I was going crazy. What was happening? You know, I was waking up. I didn't know what I was waking up. I was seeing a lot of these people turn all of a sudden. You know, the people that I used to know, people I used to call family and friends, they started turning upside down. Then I was like, this is unbelievable. How can it be possible that in a very short period of time, in a couple of days, people have started flipping upside down? You know, I didn't know that because remember, guys, in those days I didn't know that I was waking up. The very first time I woke up, I didn't know that I'd got an awakening. I did not know. But I will guarantee you that I had the switch. So you guys go back to my video of the switch. I've done that video of the waking up, and I called it the switch, something like that. I knew that there was a switch. Something had changed within my system, but I didn't know that I was actually spiritually waking up. You know what I mean? So I didn't know anything about spiritual awakening. Believe me, guys, I thought I was crazy. I thought I was crazy. I thought I was going crazy. I was looking around. People's characters, personalities were just flipping all over the place. And I was like, what exactly is going on here? You know what I mean? I couldn't make sense of everything. Then I found out later on that I was waking up. Then I was like, okay, now that I can see all of you, now that I can see all of them, then I might as well go ahead and stay away from them, you know? So I started shutting doors. Some doors, they shut by themselves. Some of the doors, I shut them myself physically, because I knew it was time. It was time for me, for the very first time in my life, for my entire life. I was choosing myself. For the very first time, I was choosing myself. I noticed that actually that was the biggest move that I'd ever done ever since I was a kid. It was the biggest move I've ever done, because I've never, ever in my life, ever chosen myself. I was always thinking, oh, I'm gonna, be around there, choose people, help people, be there, do this, do that. Then for the first time, I said, no, that's it. Guys, for the first time, it was the most shocking decision I've ever done. For the first time, I shut the doors. I said, now I'm going to first of all figure out what is going on here. I'm seeing a lot of these weird faces, people look like they are narcs. I was not understanding who they are. They were, before I would think that, oh, these are family, these are friends. And then all of a sudden, the mask was starting to slip all over the place. I was like, no, I need to start shutting some doors here. I said, I'm going to shut doors. By force, I started shutting doors. And most of the people would not believe. People would not believe. Guys, let me tell you something. It was very, very shocking. People would not believe that for the first time I was shutting doors. And I was saying no. The very first, it was a very big move for me. It was a very, very, very big move. For the first time. You can't believe it.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, you're right. How's it going? Can you believe, guys? For the first time, I was saying that for the first time, I was shutting doors. I was stopping to take the crap. I was stopping to take the BS. I was saying now it's time for me. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to focus on me. And that is exactly when the loneliness kicked in. So in those first days, those first months, there will be a lot of struggling, especially after waking up. When you wake up, guys, let me tell you something. The very biggest cause of the loneliness, number one, is for you that you're awakened. You know what I mean? So you have gone through a paradigm shift, number one. So there's a lot of things you see around you. People don't understand. Your language is different. You see things differently. A lot of people, you can now see them for who they are. You're starting to eliminate them out of your life. You know what I mean? You're getting them out of your life. So you can understand that sometimes it's a part of that process of, then that's where the first 3 months or 4 months, maybe sometime even 5 months. And that is the reason why, guys, I want you to listen this to very closely to this one. That's the reason why most of the times you've seen a lot of guys, they, because of that loneliness, they start to run around, they're looking for relationships, they say, oh, because I did those kind of mistakes in the beginning, because I didn't know what was going on with this loneliness. So I was thinking, maybe I just need to have to go in a dating or girlfriend or things like that. So in those early days, I remember I was going on those dating sites, those early days I was going on dating sites, see, maybe I need a relationship, because I was thinking that, how come that I'm feeling lonely like this, or something like that. And then I noticed that actually, those dating sites, the only people they had to offer were the same knacks that I'd always been dating before. And I was like, I'm not going for that. I was like, I'm not going there. I ain't going there, So it was very painful. Loneliness, guys, let me tell you something. Loneliness, you will feel it within your bones. So embrace it. Understand this loneliness happens for you. You have to understand loneliness is part of the process of evolution. So for that subscriber who was complaining about loneliness, do not worry about that. It is a way that you're going to evolve, because at the end of the day, nobody's going to evolve with you. If you're a person who is looking for spiritual growth, and you want to become a better version of yourself, you want to grow from A to B, you want to start moving mountains and moving to different heights, you're going to be lonely. You're going to be lonely somewhere in your garage, working on yourself, working on your craft, healing, going within, introspecting, and all these kind of things. So you're going to have to walk this journey by yourself. Nobody's going to walk with you. And you have to understand also as well that so many people don't understand you when you're starting to do things, you're making some moves and things like that. There will be people there will be people who will not understand you. You know what I mean? So it's time for you guys to evolve, chosen ones. It's time for you to evolve. Get out of the closet, You guys have been too much in the closet. A lot of you guys, you don't fit in and this and that. So even sometimes socializing is not an easy thing. So get out of the closet, guys, and start, cultivating your crafts. My next video, we're going to do a video about spiritual gifts. So we're going to talk about these gifts of, the chosen ones. A lot of you guys have got gifts that you don't know about. So we're going to discuss all these kind of things so that you guys can start getting out of the closet and working on yourself, and sometimes moving towards the best version of yourself. You know what I mean? But again, it's going to be a lonely process. I have to make you guys aware that it's going to be a lonely process. So that is the thing that you're going to walk by yourself. You understand? You know what I mean? So let me know what you guys think about this. Leave us a comment, guys, and let us know what you think about this. I'll get back in touch with you. Much love and blessings. Desomos signing out. Peace.